Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. The escalating Russia and Ukraine crisis is one that is affecting the world, and Nigeria is not left out, with many of our citizens still refusing to come back after federal government's efforts at evacuating some of them from Ukraine. At Thursday's State House briefing, Minister of State Foreign Affairs Ambassador Zubairu Dada highlighted the prevailing issues between both warring countries and called for measures that will steer national interest in multilateral relations.
Of the crisis, especially on Nigerian citizens resident in Ukraine. We just thought we should give you a little rundown. The number of Nigerians, registered Nigerians in Ukraine as at the time that this started. We had an estimated 8,000 Nigerians, out of which 5,635 were registered as students. You know, Nigerians were very, very mobile. Nigerians are everywhere in the world. Very, very active and, vibrant. So one is not surprised that we had this large number. But like I said, we have from the records, and I'm sure the number may likely even be higher than this. But we believe that over 7,000 of this number may have crossed the borders into neighboring countries. Don't forget, it's a free world. People are free to decide what they want to do with themselves. And especially in times of crisis such as this, the first consideration, of course, will be life.
The recently approved national policy documents on ending human trafficking by the Federal Executive Council have been presented to critical actors in the fight against all forms of trafficking. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, in his message, harped on human capital development. Rape, stalking, spousal attacks, and harmful widowhood practices are just a few of the offences the three national documents seek to end. The documents are the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking 2022 to 2026, National Policy for Protection and Assistance of Trafficked Persons, as well as Protocol for Identification, Safe Return and Reintegration of Trafficked Persons.
To prevent human trafficking, we need to address poverty, underdevelopment, and a lack of equal opportunity.
We will continue to expand our efforts to help NAPTIP and the Nigerian Immigration Service, as well as academia, to produce timely data analysis on trafficking in persons.
Human trafficking, a transnational crime, discussants say requires intelligence sharing among nations and donor partners.
NAPTIP has concluded partnership with Facebook and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the United States to set up Amber Alerts Nigeria, where Facebook sends alerts to help find missing children in Nigeria.
Implementation of these policies, particularly the National Action Plan, would further exemplify our collective determination to achieve a human trafficking-free nation.
Families are warned to desist from practices that promote trafficking, as offenders will be prosecuted. In Abuja, Elizabeth. And out to electoral matters, ahead of the 2023 general elections in Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has released 21,588 permanent voter cards to eligible voters who registered during the first and second quarter of the continuous voter registration in June 2019 and December 2021. Yemi Dalimo reports.
Then Electoral Commissioner Ogun State Niyi Ijalaye says the newly registered voters now have the opportunity to collect their permanent voter cards at the 20 local government areas of the state to guarantee their participation in the 2023 general elections. He, however, regretted that more than 650,000 PVCs are yet to be collected by those who registered as voters in 2015 and 2019.
People here to go out and collect their PVCs. It is your right, it entitles you to vote. So those who have not collected should go and collect. Those who have not registered should go and register.
Voters have been visiting their local government INEC offices in the state to collect their permanent voter cards to enable them exercise their civic duty during the forthcoming general elections.
The card is my own power to elect the rightful person I need to govern me. So I need to have my PVC.
In the meantime, INEC Rec in Ogun State, Niyi Ijalaye, who informed that the final quarter of the continued voter registration had commenced in the state, also assured those who apply for replacement of their PVCs due to defacement or loss, as well as transfer of voter registration, that their PVCs will soon be ready for collection. In Abuja, Yemi Dalimo, NT News.
You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Time to join Hingino in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Hingino. Nice to see you.
Elizabeth, nice to see you too. The case between Chidinma Ojukwu, who was alleged to have murdered late CEO of a media organization, Usifo Ataga, has again been adjourned. Annie Daniels, who was at the Igboshere Magistrate Court, Lagos, has details.
The case between Chidinma Ojukwu and the family of the deceased, Usifo Ataga, has been on since year 2021. At Honorable Justice Yetunda Desoya's court, both parties were seated. However, the Lagos State Deputy Director of Prosecution, Adenike Oluwafemi, informed the court that the investigating police officer, IPO, had informed her while on her way to the court that he had health challenges, so won't be available. She therefore asked that the case be adjourned. Although other counsels agreed, but it was not without expressing their disappointment at the spate of adjournments. Counsel to the second defendant, Babatunde Busari, noted that the IPO wasn't the last witness. Therefore, others should have been in court to discourage further unnecessary adjournments. The case has been adjourned to the 5th of May, 2022. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Turning our attention to Ramadan now, to enjoy the benefits embedded in Laylatul Qadr, also known as the Night of Majesty, after a month-long Ramadan, Islamic faithful have converged on Lagos to seek Allah's favor and mercy. Diana Ajale, who spent the night with Muslim faithful, reports that the Night of Majesty is one of the most sacred in the Islamic calendar.
Observed in the last 10 days of Ramadan, it is believed that worshipping Allah on Laylatul Qadr is more rewarding than doing so for 1,000 months. The essence of Laylatul Qadr is the reason why Muslims increase their devotion to Allah in the last 10 days of Ramadan months to seek Allah's blessings and forgiveness.
The lesson learned during the Ramadan will not be left without being followed after the end of Ramadan.
Every Muslim all over the world is enjoying to look out for that special night. It's the day of acceptance of prayer, it's a day of forgiveness of sins, it's a day that unifies all Muslims.
The gathering also featured Quran recitation and prayers for the peace of God to abide in Nigeria, especially as the nation prepares for the 2023 general elections.
Closer to having the benefits and being rewarded and having to be renewed.
We're meant to draw lessons in sacrifice, self-denial, given to the poor.
Sheikh Rabiu Abdul Malik used the occasion to appeal to relevant authorities to redouble their efforts in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria. He also charged individuals, irrespective of religion, to be committed to Allah and be prayerful at all times.
You must be honest to yourself, to people around you and your country. Else, what is the essence of being alive?
To Muslims, the uniqueness of the Night of Majesty, which is also the night of decree and spiritual upliftment, makes it a special occasion they cannot afford to miss. In Lagos, Diana Ajali, NTA News.
We pause here for a break. Nationwide continues in Jos with Felicia after that. But before then, do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates.
Thank you and welcome to Jos. General Officer Commanding 3 Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Ibrahim Ali says the division will sustain training and retraining of officers to enhance professionalism in the discharge of their duties. This was while declaring open a workshop at Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Rukuba, Plateau State. Grace Akwegotip reports.
In line with the Chief of Army Staff's vision of having professional army ready to accomplish assigned mission in defense of Nigeria, the 3 Division of the Nigeria Army is shaping the professional prowess and improving the officers' knowledge of law. The General Officer Commanding 3 Division, Major General Ibrahim Ali says, since the Army is engaged in different operations, it must represent the best of national character so as to win positive perspective for the Nigeria Army.
You know, we're in operations almost in every state of Nigeria, and there are issues that have to do with human rights and other related issues. So this workshop is aimed at educating, enlightening, raising the awareness of our soldiers in those areas so that they can perform their roles, their tasks much more efficiently.
With the theme, enhancing the professionalism and responsiveness of the Nigerian soldiers, the workshop is expected to enhance the knowledge of officers and soldiers on civil-military relations, humanitarian laws, human rights abuses, and sexual exploitations, among others. From the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment in Rukuba, Grace Akwegoti, NTA News.
National Orientation Agency is stressing the need for people to be encouraged to patronize made-in-Nigerian goods and services. Plateau State Director of the agency, Mrs. Kaneng Pamwuru, was speaking while addressing newsmen in Jos. Salau Abdurrahman Mohammed reports.
The State Director says since 2016, the agency has been engaging various stakeholders through advocacy and interactive session on need for a sustained national campaign on attitudinal change towards patronizing locally made goods and services. The need for Nigerians to consume goods and services produced locally has become necessary to revive local industries, creation of employment, and restoration of national pride.
Nigeria's economy is the function of what we produce. To this end, Nigerians should be encouraged to patronize made-in-Nigerian goods and services, to enable the revival of local industries, creation of employment, and restoration of national pride, as well as encourage industries and service providers to give the best quality of their goods and services, and to also comply with the Nigerian quality standard.
The State Director urged industrialists to comply with the regulatory and ethical standard.
The program will also seek to encourage industries to pick up projects that will enhance the upliftment of Plateau State, in particular as their corporate and social responsibilities and the nation at large.
In achieving this, she called on the media to sustain its critical role by showcasing the locally made goods and services. In Jos, Salau Abdurrahman Mohammed, NTA News.
That report wraps it from Jos. Elizabeth is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Felicia. The Adamawa State House of Assembly has declared the seat of the member representing Michika constituency, Ayuba Joseph Kwada, vacant following his defection from People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Simon Asha reports that the development resulted in a peaceful protest at the Assembly.
By the House to declare the seat of member representing Minchika constituency at the Adamawa State House of Assembly, Ayuba Joseph Kwada, followed a constitutional matter raised on the floor of the House by the Deputy Speaker.
The member of the House of Assembly shall the seat in the House if G, Mr. Speaker, being a person whose election in the House of Assembly was sponsored by that party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which the House was elected.
The Speaker of the House, Aminu Abbas, therefore declared the seat of the lawmaker vacant for defecting from PDP to APC without crisis in his former party as required by the law. The All Progressives Congress in Adamawa State has described the action of the Adamawa State House of Assembly as unconstitutional and will challenge it in the court of law.
As a party, we therefore strongly condemn such clueless and selective justice in its entirety. As a law-abiding political party, we are aware that it's only the court that has inherent powers to declare a seat vacant.
The development has resulted to a peaceful protest at the State House of Assembly by APC supporters in Yola, Simon Asha, and NTN.
In a bit of security now, the Ministry of Defense has outlined plans to upscale the welfare and training of members of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, announced this while on a working visit to the defense complex in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
A warming handshake, pen to paper. He was on a familiarization visit. Beyond the familiarization visit is a convergence of decision-making bodies of the Nigerian defense domain. The new permanent secretary of the Ministry of Defense on the move to defense headquarters, establishing a coded relationship with the defense headquarters and rolling out tasks set to be achieved.
And when he was in the theater of operation, people...
Of concern to the permanent secretary is the welfare of the armed forces and the need to improve civil-military relations.
With your training around the world, many of you have visited the Pentagon, and you see the mix of military and civilians operating under the same roof. This is going to happen within the next couple of months in Nigeria. Again, the whole essence of doing that is to ensure that we provide the best support to the operational arm of the Ministry of Defense for our role as Ministry of Defense to make life as easy as possible for the armed forces. And these, I'm assuring you.
We here are prepared for you. We shall be giving you a brief as to what our responsibilities are, what our activities have been over the past, and then what we also envisage to see going forward.
These criminals are not from the moon. They stay with us with the support of the other services and other agencies, and we'll get all of them.
The permanent secretary noted that this deployment was deliberate, having gone through necessary approval from the president and the head of service with specific tasks to achieve. From the defense headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Following the security alert recently issued by the DSS of Nasarawa State, the Nasarawa State government is taking steps to enhance security strategies it has already put in place to forestall breach of peace. The decision is coming at an emergency security meeting in Lafia. Joshua Kibo reports.
A meeting which has heads of security agencies and some traditional rulers in attendance reappraises security situation with a view to addressing issues of threat to lives and property. Deputy Governor Dr. Emmanuel Akabe says government remains committed to promoting peace and security across the state.
Together and reappraise the situation and see what measures we need to take as a state. One of the responsibilities of any government is to maintain security, peace, and order.
On the recent influx of strange persons into some parts of the state, the deputy governor calls for concerted effort among stakeholders to check the situation. He commends security agencies for working round the clock to tackle insecurity in the state. Joshua Kibu, NTA News.
There is a new trend and pattern of ATM and internet-based financial crimes. It is called dispense error, and the wave is spreading fast among youths in the FCT. Security correspondent Onotu Yakubu brings us the arrest and parade of some suspects by the Utako Police Division. This report will come in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on, Abia State government has appealed to pensioners in the state to exercise patience as arrangements have been concluded to pay their pensions and outstanding gratuities. Governor Okeze Ikbazo made the appeal while addressing a group of pensioners who staged a peaceful protest at the government house over unpaid pensions and gratuities. Ifoma Undu Okoli reports.
The group, under the aegis of concerned Abia pensioners, were at the entrance of the government house in Umuahia to protest the non-payment of their pensions and gratuities by the state government.
The death toll of Abia pensioners each month, about every month 15, is increasing. It's increasing now. No kobo to buy drugs. Since the whole of 2018, no payment. 2019, no payment. But recently, they paid 2 or 4 months. They started with 1 quarter or half pay.
Abia State Commissioner for Finance, while addressing the pensioners, explained that the state detected a total of 4,442 irregular pensioners, hence the delay in the payment of pensions in the state.
The gratuities attached to those irregular names amounted to over 6 billion naira. So we had to make sure that we extricated and removed all of those from the payroll that is now genuine.
Secretary to the Abia State government, Chris Ezem, who later addressed the pensioners on behalf of the governor, while appealing to the pensioners, encouraged them to always ensure that their leadership dialogue with government before resorting to protests. In Umuahia, Ifoma Ndu Okolie, NTA News.
Residents of Kiama community in Bayelsa State were thrown into fear as erosion washed away part of the community into the river. They are appealing to relevant state and federal government agencies to quickly come to their aid. Ebimini Zitimilo Yola reports.
Kayama is the headquarters of Kolokuma-Pokuma local government area. The community lies along the bank of River Non. The continuous existence of the community is being threatened by the menace of coastal erosion that is washing away buildings and property into the river. In the past, huge landmass have been washed away, making residents to relocate to safer ground. Residents were thrown into fear as they witnessed the ravaging natural disaster that swept away a large portion of their ancestral home into the river after a downpour. Fortunately, no life was lost.
The heavy downpour that took place affected that place.
It has been displayed. The bishop's office, the bishop's court is in danger.
If we don't stop it now, only God knows the extent of a devastation that is flooding that will Kayama community will encounter.
The people are calling on the federal government for timely intervention and the NDDC to recommence the abandoned shore protection project awarded in 2006. In swift response, Bayelsa State Commissioner for Environment inspected the ravaged area. They described the incident as an emergency that needs the collaborative efforts of the federal government to provide lasting solutions.
We cannot allow our people to live in this erosion ravaged area. As we return to the ministry, we are going to engender every necessary action that will power a takeoff of a soil protection project.
The commissioner directed the stoppage of all sand dredging activities close to the Kayama Bridge that runs through the east-west road. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Time now to head to the ancient city of Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by with some reports for us. Hello, Kemi.
Elizabeth, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Property worth millions of naira have been washed away by rainstorm in Town, Surulere local government, Ogbomoso, Oyo State. Lukman Hassan, who went round the town, has the details.
The rainstorm destroyed shops, houses, and disrupted business activities in Town. Some residents who witnessed the rainstorm shared their experiences.
The wind started small, it changed into storm and destroyed all our goods and our roofs.
The rain only lasted less than 30 minutes, but it came with a strong wind which led to destruction of my fence.
Also affected by the rainstorm is the Radio Nigerian FM station Ogoilu, which destroyed the roof, cars, and studio equipment. While assessing the level of damage, the Oloko of Okoland called on the government and wealthy people to come to the aid of those affected.
It did a lot of damage to the road, and so it's a very big damage for us in Oko. So we are appealing to government and the agencies concerned that they should come to our aid.
No life was lost as a result of the rainstorm. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
And as the strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, lingers, stakeholders, including parents and students, decry its effect on their lives. Correspondent Shola Wahid tells us more.
Since 2009, ASU has embarked on at least 8 strike actions, leaving its impact on tertiary education system and quality of students it churns out annually and paving way for private universities to thrive. ASU says the failure of government to implement agreements it entered into with the union warrants their present strike, which is no doubt taking its toll on all stakeholders in and outside the academic environment.
I'm a PG student and I'm supposed to round up my program this year, but with the strike now, the thing keeps elongating.
Nothing meaningful. The students are not on campus, the workers are not on campus, everything is just down.
At times we spend up to like 8 hours here. The money we are going to acquire is not up to like 500 naira per day.
Some educationists are of the opinion that both ASU and the federal government should resolve and find a lasting solution to the incessant strike by ASU.
The strike is still on, total and comprehensive.
It will be recalled that the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, had embarked on a 4-week warning strike on February 14th, which was extended at its expiration in Ibadan. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues with Abubakar in Maiduguri after this break.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide up to this moment. And this is Maiduguri Network Center. Let's move on now. In line with the federal government's National Homegrown School Feeding Program, approved master cooks and food vendors across Borno State have received training on enhanced hygiene, safety, and quality service. The one-day training was flagged off by a representative of Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, for the free meal service providers in primary schools within 24 local government areas of the state. Yagum Subukar completes the story.
Public primary schools in Borno are picking up following massive reconstruction of mega learning institutions in the post-insurgency recovery phase as returnee and host communities embrace back to school and various enrollment programs. To this end, the federal government's National Homegrown School Feeding Program, which started since 2016 with the aim of improving health and educational outcomes of public primary schools pupils, is positively enhancing teaching and learning in the state with a unique educational challenge, hence the engagement of food vendors to meet their nutritional demands. The food vendors are now undergoing capacity enhancement training for optimum results in service delivery to ensure no compromise in quantity, quality, and hygiene.
We are thanking the government chief of Baba Buhari and the Baba Gana Umar Azlam.
The nationwide strategy of repositioning the system, according to Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, represented by Fatima Abamani, is broadening the horizon of cooks on improved services.
In Borno State now we have
24 local governments enrolled in the feeding program already. And in each local government, we have 2 cooks that have been identified as being the master cooks.
The Safe School Training Program is also expected to hasten the post-insurgency recovery drive of government, now that more mega schools have been built for resettled communities. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And away from that, Borno state government has sustained distribution of palliative food and cash support to the poor and needy residents of Maiduguri, the state capital, to celebrate the coming Salah. The palliative support ahead of the festive season was initiated by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum to give beneficiaries a sense of belonging. Pauline Vanna will now tell us more.
4,000 women and men drawn from Jere local government area benefited from the Governor Zulum's tradition of food and non-food items, including cash distribution to the downtrodden in the society to ameliorate the economic hardship and effect of the insecurity bedeviling the state. A bag of rice was shared for each of the 2,000 men, while same number of women received a wrapper, sugar, and 10,000 naira cash, a development they are happy with.
We have received his message, so we are saying thank you to him.
While promising to reach out to the targeted number of beneficiaries, government officials urged them not to sell nor share the items with anyone.
Those to make the selection should ensure that they select vulnerable members of the community, irrespective of party, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of location. No Christian, no Muslim, vulnerable persons.
We have a leader that is very compassionate, a leader that is committed to the well-being of his people, a leader that is like a father to everyone. And so this is just a continuity of what has been existing.
When the Akabashi Nashine, women mutanen da suke bukatar abinci, suke bukatar atumfa, suke bukatar sugar ko mun bayar.
The beneficiaries departed home fulfilled, set for Salah celebrations and the days ahead. In Maiduguri, Pauline Vanna, NTA News.
If you're just joining us here on to Nationwide on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA, let us at this point return to Elizabeth in Abuja for more reports for us this evening. So, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Abubakar. As Nigerians prepare for the 2023 general elections, more aspirants are expressing interest in different offices across the levels of governance. Latest among the lot is the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami SAN. The AGF has formally expressed his interest to contest to become the APC's flag bearer in the 2023 governorship election in Kebbi State. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria have urged political parties to go back to the drawing board to redefine their ideologies and stop the financialization of the sale of expression of interest and nomination forms, as this will further promote corruption in Nigeria. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
Current cost of expression of interest and nomination forms for various elective positions in the country, no doubt, has generated a lot of reactions from Nigerians. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are of the opinion that paying that much will not only be discriminatory, but we also must gauge credibility, ability, and capability, as elected candidates will eventually be more interested in getting returns on investment rather than deliver on their electoral promises.
Some sections of this country that have money have hijacked the party and determines who goes where. And parties are trying to be financially independent.
What of those people who are already in office at the moment? What role are they playing? What are they contributing to the parties themselves?
Is it going to support me based on this progressive ideology? So these are the things that make a member to stake himself into the party.
100 million. That is like consolidating and accepting that there's corruption in the system or exalting corruption.
Why can't we use the ability of your report card, your pedigree, what you have done in the civil service, what you have done in your company, what you have done in any of the profession as a criteria to select who is going to run for the presidency?
Guests also noted that political parties should avoid putting Nigeria into moral, economic, and political challenge through hike in the sales of expression of interest and nomination forms in the name of making money for the party. In Abuja, Thomas Ubeteri, NTA News.
Presidential aspirants from the southeast zone of the country have been urged to unite and rally around one candidate that can earn the trust and support of majority of Nigerians in order to win the presidential election, CAM 2023. This was at a forum of the Greater Nigeria Conference in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
This is another forum aimed at enlightening Nigerians on the imperatives of the 2023 general elections. Here, the issue is Igbo presidency. The Greater Nigerian Conference, having unveiled the profile of aspirants from the southeast to the public, is urging the electorate to make informed choice.
The essence of this meeting is to convince Nigerians that indeed we live in a country that has a conscience.
To still continue to appeal to our country, Nigeria, to please do to us what they have done to other people. We're asking to be treated fairly because we have invested so much in this country.
The whole Nigerian people should support a presidential candidate from the southeast to become president of Nigeria in 2023 to cement national unity.
We are united in this. We will speak with one voice.
Speakers at the event who went memory lane to recount Nigeria's political history and experience are of the view that for the sake of equity, justice and fairness, the Southeast should be allowed to produce Nigeria's next president in 2023. Leaders of Afenifere, Pandef and the Middle Belt Forum also lend their voices in solidarity. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
In other news, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities has read the Riot Act to holders of public buildings that are not in total conformity with the National Accessibility Standards Code. At a two-day validation meeting of National Accessibility Standards in Abuja, Executive Secretary of the Commission, James Lalu, says the Commission will soon set in place a task force in partnership with the Nigeria Police for enforcement. Oluseye Adeagbo reports.
Of this facility actually makes provision for people who have challenges with movement, but this doesn't still serve Nike Akimbola, who still needs help to access the facility.
The universal standard will be that there will be a rail, and at the same time, I wouldn't have to still seek the assistance of anyone having to go in or come out from this building.
Nike's experience is among several ones. The National Accessibility Standard Code, a document that highlights the crucial importance of accessibility in its various dimensions for persons with disabilities, seeks to address.
We are going to do an assessment of different buildings, and these different buildings must be invited to come and explain why they are breaking the law. And in this case, anybody who break this, we are going to seal these buildings.
Partners have pledged to support the cause which enable persons with disabilities achieve rights and inclusion in national development.
A lot of times we see accessibility from the point of ramp. We don't think about toilets. We don't think about the colors of the wall for persons with albinism.
The National Accessibility Standard Code in contest reveals challenges persons with disabilities face in accessing, among others, employment, transportation, public and private buildings across the country. In Abuja, Oluseye Adeagbo, NTA News.
The need for more empowerment of women to promote economic development and attain the sustainability development goals has once again been re-echoed. Nigeria Youth SDGs Network made this known in Abuja to raise awareness and provide more institutional support and opportunities to unlock the entrepreneurial zest of young women.
The significant impact into making sure that empowering young women is in the right step and in the right direction.
We decided to partner with the Nigerian Youth SDGs
SDGs network to raise awareness about the very, very urgent issues of supporting economic growth through women and youth development.
We expect that if we're able to bridge the gap in women participation in the workforce, for example, Nigeria could see significant growth in its economy.
The group also believes that the global campaign will help to strengthen engagements that will transform lives of women in Nigeria. David A. Moose once said, "Our motto is to work for peace based on social justice. Our mandate is to improve the condition, health, and safety of workers, and our mission is universal." Achieving this vision forms part of discussions as the world marks the 2023 Safety and Health at Work Day. Harman Jabani reports.
The International Labour Organization indicates that every day 6,300 people die as a result of occupational accident or work-related diseases. In its effort to bring down the figure, Director of Administration of the Nigerian Television Authority, Tunde Oluwatudimu, informed me that the organization has over the years taken the safety and health of staff seriously, and motivation is second to none.
Despite the fact that we have a rule concerning personalization of health care under the National Health Insurance Scheme, NTST operates a clinic that takes care of staff on duty when there is emergency, even outside the emergency.
And to the champions of this cause in Nigeria, the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, employers, small businesses and workers have to adopt to their occupational safety and health practices.
It's an awareness-raising campaign that is intended to focus international attention on the magnitudes of occupational safety and health challenges and on how promoting and creating a collaborative safety and health culture can help reduce the number of work-related deaths, injuries, and disabilities.
It is believed that most of workers spend considerable time at workplace, which is why it becomes important to maintain healthy standards therein to avoid any kind of mishap. The theme set for this year's World Day for Safety and Health at Work is "Act Together to Build a Positive Safety and Health Culture." Harman Jabani, NTA News.
Similarly, the Ministry of Labour and Employment is using the 2022 World Day for Safety and Health at Work to intensify public enlightenment on the need to stick to precautionary measures at workplaces to mitigate industrial disaster. Kenneth Nanim, who was at the event put together by the ministry and partners to mark the day, now reports.
World Day for Safety and Health at Work is celebrated globally every 28th day of April. This year's celebration is directing attention to collective responsibility in mitigating injuries, illnesses, even death at workplaces, in line with the theme, which is "Let's act together to build a positive safety and health culture." In a message, Minister for State Labour and Employment says that government is taking proactive steps to achieving safe and healthy work environment in line with International Labour Organization's agenda for decent work.
I wish to reiterate that the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment is committed to fostering a collective approach to build a positive safety and health culture, which cannot be overemphasized in achieving lasting and improved safe and healthy environment in all our workplaces.
Partners of the ministry urged workers to always take issues of safety and health at workplaces seriously and report incidences and accidents at work environments to help mitigate impacts.
Giving appropriate priority to the prevention of occupational accidents and diseases and providing adequate investment in occupational healthy and safe systems will contribute to sustainable economies, thereby ensuring a healthy workforce and supporting productive enterprises.
Earlier, the organizers were at the Kubo Furniture Market to enlighten the public on the need to use personal protective equipment when at work.
We are here to let them know that safety is life. We are here to let them know that it is not all about targeting making money. but targeting about preserving your life.
In order to prevent fire, in its simplest sense, is you just have to make sure ignition source and fuel don't come together.
Federal Ministry of Labour, one of the mandates is to safeguard and promote occupational safety and health in all workplaces in Nigeria. So that is what we do, prevention and protection.
There was also free medical outreach for the public to cater some of their health issues. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
In a bit of religious matters now, few days to the end of Ramadan, one of the acts that goes with the period, tafsir, is also being wound up. The women wing of Jama'atu Da'awa of Fuad Lababidi Islamic Academy will say Abuja organizes the tafsir every Ramadan. Reading Quran in the month of Ramadan is highly recommended with great rewards, and the tafsir is the recitation, translation and commentary on every verse of the Quran that carries the do's and don'ts guiding the Muslim. Malam Muhammad Kabir conducted the tafsir.
Allah Ta'ala revealed the glorious Quran in Ramadan. Allah Ta'ala specified Ramadan to reveal the glorious Quran completely. The important of this tafsir is to enlighten Muslim brothers and sisters to continue following the rules and regulations and commandment of Allah.
Hajia Rekia Bamali is the Amira of the Da'awa.
I feel that we should remind ourselves by organizing the ongoing tafsir on how to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how to care for the less privileged, because it's a month of sacrifice, it's a month of giving. Give and then Allah rewards in multitudes.
As the Muslims do not have sufficient knowledge of the Quran, they are expected to reform themselves, having listened to the tafsir. Muslims have been enjoined to endeavor to feed the poor during the holy month of Ramadan because of the huge reward involved. Imam of the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, Fuad Adeyemi, gave the encouragement when the group hosted the NTA to an iftar gathering in Abuja. Rosemary Bibla reports.
Which held at Al-Habibiyya Grand Mosque, Guzaipe, attracted the presence of NTA top management, Christian clerics, and other Nigerians who came to observe the breaking of fast to demonstrate oneness and love.
Al-Habibiyya and NTA started on a relationship about 19 years ago, and we now look at this, that the support we have gotten from NTA is beyond our imagination.
The Nigerian Television Authority has a mandate to promote unity in diversity through cementing ties that bind, says Director of Programs Lawal Ahmed, who represented DG NTA.
Al-Habibiyya is now flashing the light to show everyone that religion should be used to unite, not to divide. And I would wish that all religious organizations would look at this as an example and follow it to the latter.
This is another way of telling Nigerians, especially in this era of election where we are, we should not allow religion to divide us. So I think NTA is demonstrating that Nigeria is really one. And anything that will divide Nigeria, NTA is not part of it.
Interfaith harmony has been a cardinal objective promoted by the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, especially in the holy month of Ramadan. In Abuja, Rosemary Bilal, NTA News.
And that report ends nationwide today. Thank you so much for your time. Do not forget to always connect with us at the NTA. Remember to always take action against rape and rapists. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Thank you for your time.